Faith here with your welcome toast. Someone once said, and I can identify, I may look like a potato now, but one day I'll turn into fries and you'll want me then. It's great to have you joining the party on the Faith Middleton Food Schmooze, this special edition. We're inviting you to eat, drink, and be merry with us. We're in our, what I call the culinary studio at the Big G Gateway Community College. Here's the thing about this show. For years on Earth Day, we fight to have Barbara Pierson of the remarkable White Flower Farm in Litchfield, Connecticut, on our show. And we're grateful that they provide our donors with a coupon toward their plants and products. But the real reason we love doing this show on the Food Schmooze is because it's Earth Day. We think it's time in life when, caring for this earth of ours in our communities has never been more important. The soil, our water, taking care to recycle, getting these plastic bags out of here. We invite you to go to an Earth Day celebration if you can. Support organizations that care about this. We're among them, by the way. Plants, flowers, water, air. We need them all. And they need us now more than ever. So on this special edition of the show, we're talking about what to put in your soil to grow great veggies and flowers, about a great tomato plant that we have found, about how to use flowers to keep all those pests away, the natural way, how to grow veggies as show plants along with your flowers. And if you don't have a patio or a garden, this city gardening thing is so big. You live in the city listening to us, how to do windowsill things. So, happy Earth Day from one of the great garden centers in America, based in Litchfield, Connecticut, and of course online hugely. Manager Barbara Pierson, welcome back to the Food Schmooze party.
Thanks, Faith.
Well, we have to start with the tomato recommendation because so many people, whether you're in the city or in the country, are going to maybe go for one tomato. And what is yours, Barbara?
Well, this year it's Purple Rain. It's actually a purple beefsteak tomato on a dwarf plant.
So the plant is that dwarf style. So it's small. So you really could do this in a container well.
There's so many people wanting to do tomatoes on their deck or on their patio. This is small space for a container, and it's super productive.
I just like it because it's close to the door.
Well, but here's how
exactly
how delicious is this tomato? Because I will go through a lot. If it's tall, if it's short, is it a really good tomato in terms of taste?
This is savory. It reminds me of Cherokee Purple, where it really almost tastes like it has a splash of Worcestershire in it. It's just so savory and delicious.
Oh, I want that on toast with butter. I've been reading a lot about how to use plants to deter pests. So what can we do? And shortly, we're going to talk about how people can get a coupon with you folks online and stuff. But what do we need to know if we want to deter pests in a more natural way?
The best way you can do it naturally is to, number one, plant your plants in containers and keep them closer to the home. Because the chipmunks, I have every critter known to man at my house. The closer the plants are to your home, the less likely they are to come and visit.
I have very brazen deer, and I'm not even going to ask you about what to do about that, because they would come into the living room if they thought there were tomatoes in there.
Sit down on the couch next to you.
Barbara brings me I make an order of Sun Gold tomatoes because I like these little cherry tomatoes. They're very sweet, the real ones, because you carry the real ones, not the fake ones. And the deer are just can't wait. They're just lined up almost with bibs on.
Yeah, it's so true.
So let's skip the deer for a second. Let's do the other stuff.
I actually make my own little homemade spray bottle. If I see that I'm having a problem with aphids, for example, which you sometimes have on roses, but most of your edibles are fine, I just take a little spray bottle, put a few tablespoons of oil and some cayenne pepper. Remember that anything that is very hot pepper, most of your critters aren't going to like chewing on it. So you can make your own little capsicum spray bottle and spray your plants if you see them. Maybe 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil.
Pepper?
This is in a regular spray bottle size.
With water?
With cayenne pepper. And if they're really bad, I put a lot of cayenne in.
Would that work for deer?
Yes.
They would go near my sun gold. They will just run.
See them running for water or bread.
The only problem with the natural is that you have to redo it after it rains, and be careful not to put too much oil in.
Okay.
But it does help.
What about other things that we can plant? For instance, do marigolds do anything?
Marigolds are supposed to deter nematodes in the soil. So there's little microscopic worms that can eat your plants, and all of a sudden your plant just wilts and it's dead.
Okay.
So marigolds are helpful for that. They also have an odor that most rabbits and things, they don't love them. So they're not going to be attracted to the marigolds. So if you have like a nice little border of marigolds, it does help.
So peppermint, I read online, has this very strong fragrance. And ants, mosquitoes, even mice don't like it. And if you grow it in a pot, it will grow very voluptuously and can help with those things.
It's true. I mean, all the mints are very aggressive, so you want to not plant them in the ground, but always in a container, because they'll take over your yard if you plant them in the yard.
So if I did that peppermint next to the peonies, would it help the peonies? Because you know how they're always filled with ants? That's just a peony thing.
I don't think necessarily, no. Unfortunately, the ants come because the peonies have sugar in them, and so the ants are attracted to the sugar.
Okay.
So it won't help with ants, but if you have your peppermint in a window box, it may help to deter anything that's chewing on the flowers. But always in a pot, never in the ground.
Can you tell me
Where were you 4 years ago when I planted the field?
So
two plants, and now I have a field.
Right.
So no.
Spearmint field.
When I say that, when I was talking with you about tomatoes just a second ago, I mean, we have a lot of time here to celebrate Earth Day and to celebrate Connecticut Public, by the way. I said to you that you sell the real Sun Gold tomatoes.
That's correct.
And the characteristic of those tomatoes is to be very sugar forward. So it's not like eating candy exactly, but it's like having a great grape or a Bing cherry where there is enough sugar in it where you just think, oh my, this is the best. How is it that you get access to the real ones and there are fake ones?
I've noticed out there that there's a Sun Gold that's 2 words. It's sun and gold.
Wow.
So people think that it's the same Sun Gold, but it's actually a hybrid and it's different. Even though our Sun Gold is a hybrid, it is selected seed. So the company that we buy our seed from, we know it's a true source. But I have seen the fake 2-word Sun Gold.
And they're more acidic.
Totally acidic.
Yeah.
And even among acidic tomatoes, because tomato is acidic, but even among acidic tomatoes, it doesn't taste particularly good.
Yeah, and it's not productive.
What am I looking
like that
for?
one.
The real word. I mean,
It's all one word.
Sun Gold. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. How to make the soil, whether you're doing it in a pot, in a window in your house, a window box for your herbs and things just outside your window. You'll open the window and snip, snip, snip.
Yeah.
Or you're doing a garden. What do you recommend, Barbara, to amend the soil, to make it rich and make the plants more healthful for us as we eat them?
The great thing to add to your soil mix always is compost. Compost has natural bacteria in it, breaks down the organic matter, and then the organic matter is available to the plant. So compost is giving you air pockets, it's giving you nutrients.
Let me jump in, not to be a downer. Hi, Debbie Downer here from Saturday Night Live. I read once a huge investigative story about how compost was offered to farmers in the Midwest. It ruined all their fields.
It was basically sludge. It was industrial waste.
So how do you know? What am I looking at?
One of the best products out there is Coast of Maine seafood compost. I call it seafood because all I can think of is lobster and shrimp and all that, but it's really
they use
it's crustaceans.
Shells, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The best way is like my mom does it. There's a bowl next to the garbage, and it sits on the counter, and at the end of the day, it gets chucked into the compost.
So
make your own.
You certainly can make your own. Frankly, people, I'm not going to do that. No,
I'm not either.
I'm just not going out there with my bucket and my digging with the worms. And no, I'm not doing it.
When we were kids.
So I want to go. I'm going to go to you and say, Barbara, give me bags of compost.
Especially in a window box because they dry out so quickly. Adding some kind of organic organic matter is going to require less watering.
Okay, we're with Barbara Pierson once again. We are celebrating Earth Day on the show. We're coming up to a break. Then we're going to talk about how to grow herbs in window boxes. We've just discovered, thanks to Barbara, this amazing basil, a true Italian basil. We're going to get into all of that in the next segment of the show. For right now, on this show, thanks to White Flower Farm, we thank them for supporting us. They're very committed to Earth Day. I guess everybody is saying maybe it's time to stand up and be counted. So we are here to offer you, if you can pledge at $5 a month or a one-time $60 contribution, we are offering a $25 coupon from White Flower Farm. You can order anything of theirs online. Online is the biggest hit in terms of audience because it's got the most stuff on it. We thank them for that, and we thank you for listening and hope you join us in celebrating Earth Day. Here's the toll-free number to be a member of Public Radio, because we want to keep bringing you more information on things like this and also give you the programming that makes your life more interesting, might appeal to your passions and curiosity. Toll-free number 1-800-584-2788. Robin Doyen Aiken.
You can also go to connecticutpublic.org or foodschmooze.org and pick any gift you want, any thank you gift you would like.
Because there's lots of them up there.
There are so many, and as long as your gift is equal to a $5 or more pledge every month, you can get this coupon. It is a twofer in a way, but you get to pick any gift you'd like.
If you are someone who listens regularly, or you just moved here and have gotten onto the Food Schmooze or gotten onto some of our other great shows on the station, whether local or national, we do. Connecticut Public puts a big premium on local shows. They don't have to. Some stations just turn it on, all national programming. But we think reflecting communities is so important. We're here. We'd like to make you an active member of Public Radio. And the way you do that is to sign up with us. And that's how we keep going, because we don't have commercials. We think this is all about something else. So happy Earth Day, and here is our toll-free number, 1-800-584-2788.
We are known for, on the Food Schmooze, we're known for loving the local, and you can't get any more local than your backyard. So we are really encouraging you to use that coupon from White Flower Farm to buy seeds or anything else you might need to start a little patch in your own backyard, and then you know where your food comes from.
Yeah, the seeds. I'm always, Chris, are you?
No,
I'm a little afraid to do seeds, but
Yeah,
I'm this year I'm going to give it a shot.
Oh, once you get your little sprouts, just make sure you talk to them, Faith. People love the sound of your voice, and plants too.
I bet you that would work. You play the
And
Food
horses.
Schmooze. You play the Food Schmooze for your little seedlings.
Or read them the
Exactly.
phone book.
Okay, so here's the deal. I hope you will take advantage of it. White Flower Farm said, hey, if they join, you're trying to support us, and we support them in return. I said to Barbara Pierson, the manager who comes on the show every year, I must believe in the quality of a thing to be able to do this. Otherwise, there is no trust. When Barbara comes on, I can say in all good conscience, what an amazing, amazing place. And I get so excited because finally it's here, this time of seeing beauty and sustaining what sustains us. So happy Earth Day. A toll-free number. If you can make a contribution of one time $60, we're going to give you their $25 coupon toward anything online. And it is voluminous, let me tell you, from seeds to trees, you name it. Or $5 a month if that's more affordable for you. We welcome all contributions here on this show and on behalf of Connecticut Public. So, Robin, online again, because it's kind of a slightly different name. So online again, the phone number is 1-800. Of course, it's toll-free. 1-800-584-2788. Please call now, and you can bring your charge card to the phone.
Or go online to ctpublic.org, where you can pick from so many gifts. Or if it's easier because you're already on our food site anyway, go to foodschmooze.org. On both of those sites, you'll see a red button in the corner that says Donate. click that and start shopping.
For Earth Day, we're teaming up with White Flower Farm. We're going to be talking in this next segment about how to put herbs and great stuff, edible stuff, in your window boxes that look gorgeous. We're going to be talking about some flowers to mix in. So we want to get plants that are pest controlling, and we want plants that are beautiful. And then I think you can mix in edible plants. You can do lettuce in your window boxes. You can do in containers. You can do lettuce in your beautiful bed coming up to your front door. It's gorgeous growing. I know lots of people who care about the look of that walkway, and they do this. And I just say, what is that? And they say, it's lettuce. Anyway, here's our toll-free number. We'd love to have you as a supporting member of this. It's not a club. I hate to call it a club because it kind of is, but I hate to call it that because this is really about everybody, and we have great pride that people from all walks of life support public radio because they're curious, they're passionate, they want to learn. And I don't know, that's what we're about. That's what we're trying to do anyway. It's a privilege to work here. 1-800-584-2788 to make a contribution that is right for you. And to get the $25 coupon, thanks to White Flower Farm, that would need to be at $5 a month or a one-time $60 contribution.
Or anything more. You don't have to stop at $5 a month. If you see a book on the site and you want to pick that one and it's a $6 a month thing, go for it. You're still going to get the coupon.
Yeah. And those of you who can afford to do a $1,000 a month, I'm giving you my car, which is, I'm so happy to do it. We have watches. We have diamonds. It's just unbelievable. We do have, I'm just joking around, obviously, but Robin's referring to people. We have $1 a day club people. And we just are knocked out by them. Mm-hmm. So if you ever contemplated that, jump right in. So Robin and I will be back with more of this, and now we go to Barbara Pierson of White Flower Farm with Chris Prosperi, our senior contributor, and more on Earth Day and how to celebrate it in your community and grow the best plants that are healthful and beautiful. That's what we're going to get into next, so stay with us.
Our toll-free number to call and support our show and Connecticut Public Radio is 1-800-584-2788, and thanks.
To all the free-range humans and organic life forms everywhere, hold your forks up with solidarity. Remember, you vote with your wallet, your dollar bills, your ballot. Alone it's just a whisper, but together you can't stop it. It's the GMOs from the labs and the tubes where the fast foods grow. If you are what you eat, then I'm a UFO. Hope to God that my body still can decompose, 'cause I'm biodegradable.
I'm Faith Middleton with my treasured food buddies, Chris Prosperi, chef and co-owner of Metro Beast Restaurant in Simsbury, Connecticut, and our special guest, Barbara Pierson, who is manager at White Flower Farm, one of the best nurseries I have ever seen. It happens to be in Litchfield, Connecticut, but they have this online site across the country, which is a major hit, and people used to get the catalog. They go to them more and more, although there's something about that catalog coming in the spring, and you just say, oh, it's almost here. Chris Prosperi, Barbara bought a bunch of catalogs, and we were just leafing through them and talking, and you found something, and now I wanted to.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You know you can't give me the catalog without me looking. Bushel and Berry Raspberry Shortcake.
Now, what is that?
This is actually a raspberry that you can grow in a container. It's not one of those big, sprawling, old-fashioned raspberries. It's more of a clump former, and you can put it in a container on your patio. Make sure the container is plastic because you can leave it out year-round. It's hardy, so this isn't something that
you don't have to sink the container in the soil?
Don't you
Wait a
want
minute.
one of those?
Is this a perennial?
It is perennial.
It comes up every year.
All
right, wait.
And it's a
It's
dwarf.
a raspberry. It's a dwarf raspberry
It
plant.
is.
So I can put it in one of those big pots?
Yeah, put it in maybe a 14 to 15-inch diameter
Across.
at the top.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 feet tall at the most, the little canes. And it will flower and fruit, and you will actually have raspberries.
It looks like a raspberry bush, Faith.
When do you get the raspberries?
The raspberries come in July, usually sort of mid to late July.
Do you have to put a net over it because the birds are
depending on the
want
weather?
these as
Yes,
much as I
they do. The birds do like the raspberries, but again,
Close to the house.
close to the house, the same concept because you're going to have less feeding there.
Now,
anyway.
could I even put that pot in the sunny window inside my house, or does it need the air?
I think it would
and
do better outdoors.
They two, one on each side of the front door.
No, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would welcome your
if
guests.
It's sunny. If
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
sunny.
if the
This
front
needs
is-
full
yeah.
sun,
Yeah.
right? Right,
Yeah,
Barbara?
full sun. Full
Okay.
sun. It can take a little bit of afternoon shade.
It can't go in a window box because that's too shallow.
Window boxes are too small. Yes,
yeah.
But they
in
do
general.
have these French raised beds.
Is that big enough?
Yeah, it
though?
looks like a giant box.
Is it deep enough?
The
Barbara?
French raised beds are absolutely fantastic. They're by a company called Farmer D.
You're killing me.
Don't
and
you want
they-
like two of those?
They're actually
Two.
beautiful.
I want like 20 of them.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they're
they're
about
on
2
legs.
feet. Is that about 2 feet off the ground?
Yes. Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh my God!
So you
That's-
could
there's
sit
my,
down on
There's
the
my
edge.
pretend French garden, with my little French snipping garden and
Faith,
my
you
little
Faith, you-
silver shears.
You sit on one side, I'll sit on the other side, and we'll eat the raspberries towards the middle.
Okay. No, this is fantastic. So I want that raspberry thing. Say it again. What is it
It's
called?
raspberry shortcake, and it's a dwarf raspberry. Really produces fruit on new canes every year. The more of them you have, the more fruit you'll have, because even if it's self-pollinating, the bees, will do their thing and give you more fruit.
And it's a
So
beautiful
if you have
bush.
2 of them, then
You'll
what
even
happens
have more.
after the fruit comes out in July?
It's just going to be a green leafy.
For all of July, will it keep making?
You'll probably get them for a full month, and they come sort of sporadically. So, and if you use a fertilizer with phosphorus, so say you use a blossom boosting fertilizer, you're going to get more fruit and flowers. So that's what I do with mine.
Yeah. 4th of July shortcakes.
Yes, Robin. Oh my God, so exciting. Okay. Barbara, let's come back to this basil, which I'm mad for. It is like a purple black, but it has this spotting in the leaves of this bright green. It is gorgeous. And I thought, is that Thai basil? Because it kind of has the look of Thai basil. And you said, no, this is true Italian basil.
It is. It's a Genovese, and it's called Red Freddy, and it's a dark purple. And here's a perfect example of an Italian basil.
Let me get this. I'm holding this
It's
up.
purple and green, almost looks like a
Smell it.
Monet
Can I-
painting.
Wait,
you
can I
know.
take this little leaf and just
Absolutely.
smash
Oh,
it
smell
between
it.
my...
Smell it.
It's so strong, isn't it?
Now, this is something to put in your
Where are the
window
tomatoes?
boxes.
You can put...
This is perfect for window box where you're adding it in, you're getting beautiful purple color, but it's also edible.
And it's got the green flecks in it, so it adds that little punch
Yeah.
of
So
color.
here's what I'm thinking about this next to a flower that pops. Even if it's as simple as a geranium, no matter what it is, you've got this deep purple that is serving as the showcase backdrop, right, Barbara?
Yep.
For
any
something...
light pink, light purple,
Oh.
red, orange, anything would really go with it. It'll have this beautiful dark background.
Now, sitting next to it in your box is something that is a little taller than it is, and the leaves are brighter, but together they're gorgeous. What is that thing?
That's Heliotrope Fragrant Delight, and it's an old-fashioned annual, perfect for window boxes, part shade. Purple flowers that have sort of a vanilla, really beautiful fragrance. So there you're adding, you have basil fragrance, you have heliotrope fragrance.
Does the basil need sun, right?
It needs at least a half day.
Okay.
Those
Can-
together would actually work.
Can this basil be in my indoor kitchen window box?
You can definitely grow basil indoors with enough light.
In the indoor window box on the sunny windowsill, what can I have? I can have chives. I can have this basil.
Sure.
Does this taste
You can have
like,
parsley indoors
Does this
even.
taste like regular pesto if I crush it up?
It does, and then you get the purple color.
That's so cool.
It tastes like true Italian pesto, though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
like Italian pesto. Yes, not the Thai.
I could have those spiky chives growing next to this
with the
because
purple
those can work
flowers on
indoors.
top.
Yeah, for me, chives are a must-have.
A must, yeah.
For window box or
And
any kind of
lemon
herb
thyme.
garden.
How about lemon thyme?
I love it. Yeah, lemon thyme really goes down, so you get that beautiful sort of cascading thing.
We're with Barbara Pierson. Have we all been pent up for just a little too long? I think that's what you're hearing. I mean, it's
Look
just
at the colors.
snow and cold, and we're so excited because Barbara brings in cartons of these plants for us to see because they come from the greenhouses?
Yes, they
right?
do.
Yeah.
These are plants that are already being shipped to the southern zones because they're ready.
I think doing a window box is so much fun, close to the house to avoid the deer, if at all possible.
Yeah.
Spraying the plants, and you have to redo it after it rains.
You do.
If you have an overhang, you won't have to worry so much. But in any case,
True.
This is how to keep the deer away, and that's what's going to work for my sun
Look
gold
at these
tomatoes
lavender.
this year. Is that lavender?
It's actually lobularia. It's a type of alyssum,
It smells
but
so
it is
awesome.
lavender and it's fragrant.
Yes,
So
that's the thing.
in plain English, if we don't do, you folks have to do the Latin names. What would we call that? Looking for that.
It's a lavender alyssum.
Right.
Oh,
Isn't it beautiful?
gorgeous, teeny, most delicate little flowers. I want that
Like
in
they're
my
painted
window
on
box.
there, right?
And it's so easy care.
This is not an edible, though.
No.
No,
it's just a pretty.
no.
No.
No,
I-
it's just a pretty.
I encourage you to make sure you're ordering an edible when you do.
Yeah.
It's
Barbara.
really your classic example, Faith, of mixing edibles and ornamental flowers together. I think then you have the best of both worlds. You can throw a parsley in your window box, you can throw chives in, but then also have these beautiful fragrant annuals for color and just additional fun.
I just want to make sure for safety reasons, do you recommend putting in one of those little plastic strips that are blank and writing, when they're edible, write edible? 'Cause-
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't hurt to do that.
Yeah.
Because you never know who in your family is going to be out there harvesting.
Yeah, little kids can get excited.
Yes.
So just to keep safe. Okay. How about this idea of putting vegetable plants in with the flowering plants, maybe herbs, where you do this companion gardening, it's called. Are you seeing online that people are really interested in this?
Absolutely. It's interesting because you mentioned lettuce earlier, and that can take part shade, and it also, other plants can shade it naturally so that it will actually be really happy. But things like tomatoes, you have to make sure they have enough airflow. So you can plant it in amongst your full sun garden, but you have to give it space, because if it doesn't have the space, it won't produce.
So that's
so
maybe
each
not a great
plant
idea.
is different. Tomatoes I like to do in containers, and I just put the container in the garden instead of having the container on your deck.
Oh,
I
and
put
that
my
looks-
container in the garden.
And that's such an
So
Italian.
they look like they're part
So
of
it
the
looks like it's
garden.
part of the garden.
That's
That's
an
so
Italian
cool.
landscape thing to do. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful idea. I love that.
I'm seeing kale in a lot of boxes. Is that one of those plants that you can
That's-
sort of put in nice and tight with flowers and
Yes,
stuff?
you can crowd it and it will be perfectly fine. There's a kale winter boar that's the green, and then there's a red boar that's the purple, which I really love the purple. But you can jam them right in with everything else, and they'll just be big, beautiful kale.
So people have to be wondering what I'm wondering. The people I know who do these companion planting things, not for insects but for beauty, they're not cutting the lettuce. They're growing it because they think it's just gorgeous as it grows up into
Yeah.
a tall plant. What if we're interested in eating some of the kale? Is that going to ruin this little landscape that we've created?
You know, really it won't, because kale you can just keep harvesting and it'll keep growing. It's one of the easiest things to grow. And
Put
I
it in
think
your
people don't
smoothie.
realize how easy it
Yeah,
is.
and put it in your smoothie every morning. Just reach out the window, snip, put it in the blender, and off you go.
The more you cut your lettuce and kale, the better the plant will produce, and the more tender the new growth will be, so it will taste better.
We're going to come to one of those breaks where we ask you to become a member of public radio, and thanks to White Flower Farm and Barbara Pierson, what that means is if you can join us at the $5 a month level or $60 one-time contribution, they will give you in return, as thanks, a $25 coupon that you can use either at the location in Litchfield or online. We're also going to, in our next segment, come back and begin talking about how to avoid mosquitoes, because if you're out there trying to do a little garden and they're attacking you, oh, this is not so good. Well, there are some things. Chris has a theory about this. We're going to talk about it. Right now, we invite you to call 1-800-584-2788. Bring your charge card to the phone to make it as easy as possible. And my partner in crime, Robin Doyen-Aiken.
1-800-584-2788 is the number to call to support our show. You can also do this online, very easy. You can go to ctpublic.org or foodschmooze.org and look for that magic red button in the corner. There are some fun gifts available. There are books, there are mugs, there are socks, there is a plant guide, there is, which you can take to White Flower Farm with you when you go and use your coupon. Any gift you want that is a minimum of $5 a month will get you this coupon, and you can go to White Flower Farm and go crazy.
Mm-hmm. Tractors are up there. It's just unbelievable. Snowplows. Okay, Barbara, quickly, a question. Online, is there a section called edible flowers?
It's called Kitchen Garden.
When you take advantage of, if you can, of that coupon, I encourage you to have a look at that, because there is nothing that makes food look more gorgeous than a smattering. You just toss out these gorgeous, gorgeous flowers, and you can eat them. And Chris, quickly, you have a sandwich that you do.
Oh, my God, yeah. A tea sandwich. It's just toasted bread with a good amount of smeared butter on it, right? And then you take thinly sliced cucumber and then nasturtium leaves and nasturtium flowers, and you put it together as a sandwich, cut it into quarters, and they make the most amazing tea sandwiches.
As
take the crust off them.
And beauty.
The little bite of pepper that they have with the cucumber and the butter. Heaven.
All right, and we have this recipe online at foodschmooze.org.
I'm going to suggest that we make a trade with our listeners. Get the recipe, make it, and then in exchange for that recipe that you're going to be making now for the rest of your life, support us.
That's great, Robin. Of course, we welcome a contribution at any level. There have been times when we have opened an envelope from someone at school who listens in the car with her parents and has, given us $5 from her lemonade money. And I can't tell you, that touches us as much as anything. If you're a $1 a day person, oh my goodness, I can't even, we're just so grateful. Our job here is to just keep doing the programming. It's not without cost, as you can imagine, but it is an honest privilege to do it, because we're learning right along with you, and we're as passionate as you are about that learning. And in this case, we're madly excited about White Flower Farm coming to celebrate Earth Day with us and enabling you to get this coupon and to just dive in there, because maybe now more than ever, it's time to kind of stand up and say, I support taking care of this planet in my community in some way. And we believe in that too. 1-800-584-2788 is a toll-free number.
Or if you happen to be on our site looking at recipes, go ahead and click the red donate button in the corner. Pick a gift or just donate what you can. And if it's more than $5 a month, if you become a sustainer at that level, you're going to get the $25 coupon from White Flower Farm. Or just, find any book that you like, that you're inspired to cook from. There are a bunch up there. Some we've done
all of our cookbooks, right?
Recent shows. Just whatever looks good to you.
And if you don't want to keep it and you want to pass it on as a gift to somebody, you certainly are free to do that.
Sure, you can highlight the recipes that you maybe want them to cook for you as a subtle hint.
Hey, if you want to go online and make a contribution, a lot of people do. Here's the address. ctpublic.org. Org, of course, means that we're a nonprofit organization. ctpublic.org. We're going to go back now to our programming and hear about some amazing things. Chris has got his hands loaded with plants just to get you excited about Earth Day. We hope you'll go to an Earth Day celebration, and we hope before you do, you will call and support this station, because we believe so much in environmental programming. Here on the Food Schmooze, I've been chair for so many years of the Connecticut Farmland Trust events. We're into this stuff. And, boy, they need us right now. This environment needs us. 1-800-584-2788. If you can join us at $5 a month or a one-time $60 contribution, you will receive a $25 coupon from White Flower Farm to use online or at their location.
And thanks.
I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots,
I'm Faith Middleton. This is the Food Schmooze Party, offering the richness of life and coming to you in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New York. New York, including Westchester County, the east end of Long Island, the Hamptons, of course. Senior producer Robin Doyen-Aiken. I'm with my terrific buddies, senior contributor Chris Prosperi, also a chef and home cook, and Barbara Pierson, who is manager of White Flower Farm in Litchfield, Connecticut. We're celebrating Earth Day on this show, and I promised you I would talk about how to get rid of mosquitoes, because there are plantings that you can do, but I love Chris's idea.
Yeah, do it all is my idea. So I have a CO2 generator, we do a little fogging, we have citronella candles, and you're about to give me some plants I can put around our porch.
Everything helps.
Everything helps.
But I don't think there's one thing that does it. So if you do the plants and you do a little CO2 generator or even just citronella candles, do a couple of things, and we keep them at bay all year long.
The CO2 generator attracts them away from
you.
People.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a
How
great
about
one.
that?
Yeah, that's a
You
great
are
one.
serious.
Well, we have a porch. And
Yeah,
we
his
wanna
restaurant.
has
He's
a
talking about the
porch,
restaurant.
And we want to be able to sit out there, and the only way to do it
Yeah.
is multiple. So I'm waiting for you to,
Yeah.
we'll plant flowers or whatever it is around it, and that'll help us too.
Well,
Metro Base.
one of the things you can do is there's a scented geranium that's actually called citronella. So it has a beautiful sort of citronella fragrance that will deter mosquitoes.
And you can put those in hanging, right?
Exactly.
Because we can hang those off our porch.
You can hang them off the
That's
porch.
a great idea.
Yeah.
I was online, Barbara, and they said that the scent of certain plants distracts the mosquito from you. And in a way, the scent, it can be stronger than you are. Mm-hmm. And because they're looking for us from, 50 feet away, they can smell us. So they're detecting carbon dioxide, sweat, odors that the human body gives off just naturally. And so if you can distract them with these other scents, like from the plants, you can help keep them away from you. So they're saying on this online site, I think it's Farmer's Almanac, mint, fruit, and even chocolate can block the receptors that bugs use to find us.
You could use chocolate mint.
So
like
they're
that idea.
suggesting
Yeah.
plant pots with these kinds of things in them. Lemongrass, which is used to
that
Yeah,
grows
I was
great.
going to say lemongrass. Yeah, that's
right,
a
because
good.
they use that to make citronella.
It grows great around here, and you can use
But
it as
it's
a center element in a container.
It's got to be in a pot. So
Yes.
around here, because it's a tropical thing, around
Yes.
here you cannot put that straight in the soil. But that's okay. You can do lemon-scented geraniums, Barbara?
Yes, you can do lemon-scented geraniums. There's citronella. There's apple-scented, orange-scented.
Lemon thyme, lemon balm?
Lemon thyme. Lemon balm is a perfect idea.
So they say lavender does it.
Lavender actually attracts bees, but does not attract other types of insects. So lavender is a good thing to add in, and lavender's so beautiful and easy care. And one thing, if you're trying to detract mosquitoes, make sure you water in the morning. Because if you water late in the day, you've got all that water there, just encouraging mosquitoes.
And they say rosemary can be helpful in preventing flies and mosquitoes from ruining
Yeah.
your cookout.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pungent. Yeah, I
that's
believe
another
that.
pot, right? Put that in a pot.
And
Absolutely.
Here, we were just talking about your basil here, the real Genovese
Yeah.
style from Italy. This is another herb that does double duty because it repels flies and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So Chris's idea, there's peppermint,
I like
pennyroyal,
this.
catmint. We've talked about this with you, Barbara, many times, catmint.
Yes, catmint is so great. And there's a perennial one that you can actually put in your garden, too.
Really?
Yeah.
It just comes up
Yeah,
year after year?
Calamintha nepeta is a perennial catmint.
Oh, that's a change.
And if you have cats, they go insane. They'll go in your garden and just rub themselves with it and just go crazy.
No, really?
It's so much fun to watch. And beautiful flowers, and it's great for pollinators.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that is really, truly where they get catnip from?
Yes, it's really, there's cat mint, Calamintha nepeta.
And is it a mint that you can eat?
It is edible. I don't personally
Yeah.
care for
Yeah,
it,
gotcha.
but the cats love
do.
it.
Some for us, some for the cats.
That's it.
In my yard, there is a thing I call it cat crossing because I sit there and all of a sudden there'll be a cat slowly walking across. And we do have nepeta in the garden, but I've never seen the cat throw itself down on top of the plant.
Keep an eye, maybe when you're not looking.
I know.
Have your camera ready. Get a good cat video out of it.
Okay, well, we are celebrating Earth Day here on the show with Barbara Pierson, manager at White Flower Farm in Litchfield, Connecticut. It is a special fundraising edition, so we like to provide real information just to remind you of what we're about. That's why Barbara is here. Okay, Chris, what do you got?
A few years ago, my mom went to White Flower Farm and got lemons, Meyer lemons. And I was like, you can't grow lemons. And they live in Goshen. It's so far out in the northwest corner, and it's always cold there.
I'm dying to have a lemon tree.
And she has a lemon tree. And she has a lime tree now, too.
But does she get many, one or two? Or what does she get?
She gets almost a dozen out of each one, which is not, like I said, it's not a lot, but it's enough to have fun in the summer. You have people over, you're making a cocktail, grab a fresh lemon or lime off the tree that's on the porch.
Oh, yeah, and that Meyer lemon has a thin rind, and the flavor of it is so good.
I know.
She has a special way of taking care of them.
Yeah, so in the winter, they can get bugs, right?
Absolutely.
So
when you bring them indoors.
So they have a spare bathroom, and my dad helps her and takes these huge pots and puts them in the shower. There's a ton of light, and then they get watered by just turning on. It's the easiest thing in the world,
Wait
right?
a minute.
You just turn on the shower.
Well, what happens to the bugs?
They get washed, right? You wash
you're actually cleaning
them
it.
away. Yeah. They get a shower every day or every
but
other day.
She happens to
have a spare bathroom.
No, well that, but she also she happens to have also a sunny bathroom.
Yes,
that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Let's say you wash off your lemon tree before you bring it in for the season. You hope you've gotten all those little aphids and creatures off. If it's in the house and you realize there are still some there, then you ask someone to help you bring it in the shower, and you wash it again. You give it another bath and see if you can get more off, and then put it back in the sun.
You can also make a spray bottle and put water in it, maybe even just a touch of fertilizer because they love a foliar feed. Okay. And you can actually spray the plant. You're just getting water on the leaves, which really deters spider mites and things like that.
And come on, it's a little work, but who knew you could get lemons in Goshen, Connecticut?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's
and limes
thrilling.
and oranges, right? All that stuff you could do.
No, it's thrilling.
And
Absolutely.
the fragrance of the flowers. I mean, that's a whole nother thing. Before you get the fruit, you have these wonderfully fragrant flowers.
So is there anything going on with geraniums? There are so many people who live in the coastal parts of Connecticut and Long Island and Rhode Island and Massachusetts. Is there anything going on with geraniums that's different? Geraniums, you see them so much on shorelines because they hold up in the wind and the blasting sun. That's why they're in the southern coast of Italy.
At the shoreline, you tend to see ivy geraniums that cascade down.
Oh, I love that.
And I love them in window boxes. And there's lots of new geraniums in that family.
Online now? Do you have them now?
We do have one, and there's one that we sell for its foliage, not so much for its flowers.
Oh.
And it's sort of orange with a yellow edge.
I mean, don't all of us know when you go to Italy and you see those balconies and windows?
Creeping over.
And they're just, yes, Chris, they're just voluptuous flowers, and they're draping down, 4 or 5 feet, and you just think, what is that? And it's that ivy geranium. And I always look for it here. I don't always have success finding it.
No, they're actually very hard to find, and there's a series called Balconias that are exactly what you're thinking of, Faith, with the
as
beautiful
a reference to balcony.
Exactly, with the beautiful draping down.
So
and
good for window boxes.
Good for window boxes, drought tolerant. If you miss a watering, they're going to bounce back. And I think that for me is a real selling point. Because we all know that we're not looking every second of the day.
Do you have those?
We do at our retail store.
Oh,
so
okay.
I really
Not
encourage
online.
people. We don't have them online.
It's worth the drive.
But it's worth a drive, and if you have your coupon, you can come to the retail store.
Okay.
Yeah, I love hanging
God, how
pots
much fun.
of those types. I love putting them in hanging pots.
Yeah,
and
they're
then
so
off
pretty.
the porch, they're just gorgeous.
I know. I agree. Before we tell you how to become a member here at Public Radio and celebrate Earth Day in a special way and get the coupon from White Flower Farm, I just don't want to end this show without this tropical foliage that you've brought. It's so, I can't even stop looking at it. It's red in the center with this emerald green edging.
And then there's a white
Can
one
you
with
see
red
that
veins.
in a window box
Yeah.
or in your garden? What is that?
They are caladiums. and they actually grow from a bulb. Caladiums are great for shade, and so many of us have shade and we want color. Here's something that has exotic, sort of elephant ear shaped leaves, tons of color. They come in white with the red,
burgundy,
sort of hot
it's either
pink.
burgundy in the center, and then the edge is ruffled in this brilliant emerald green. It's stunning. And then the other one has a kind of white veined surface with a dark, tiny edge to the elephant ear shape, and then this vein of fuchsia running up the center of the plant. It's unbelievable.
My house is that color green, so I bet you if I put those right in front, the front of my house is very shady.
Oh, well, there you go.
That would be perfect, right? They're nice and low.
Just nice exotic
because they're tropical,
color.
do they need a lot of water?
No, they are actually adaptable to moisture or dry.
Great.
So they take care of themselves. That's
They're
the plan
pretty
for me.
they're pretty easy care as long as they're in shade.
Barbara Pierson, thank you so much from White Flower Farm.
Thank you, Faith. Thanks for having us.
We do fight to get you on the show. This is so
It's our
good.
favorite time of year.
I know. We're so excited. Chris Prosperi, thank you so much. If you dial this number, 1-800, toll-free, 1-800-584-2788, and you can join us at a one-time contribution of $60, or if you want to do it $5 a month, that's great, too. We're so appreciative. We will send you, thanks to White Flower Farm, a $25 coupon. So think about this, a $60 contribution, and then we're giving you a $25 coupon to White Flower Farm. Anything you want, either at the location in Litchfield or online at their gigantic site. So I hope you will call us right now, 1-800-584-2788. We are real believers in Earth Day and keeping that going in our local communities all year long. But this is always a great reminder. Robin?
Yes, well, every week, the Food Schmooze, we share with you recipes, kitchen tips, restaurant and wine recommendations. And today, in honor of Earth Day, we are asking you to share something with us, and that is to please donate and become a member so that we can keep the party going. 1-800-584-2788 is the number to call to make a contribution. Or if you are visiting ConnecticutPublic.org or foodschmooze.org, click the red donate button in the corner and start to look for something, some gift that might really speak to you right now. There are some gardening books there if you want even more ideas. You can get White Flower Farm's coupon, and hopefully we gave you a bunch of edibles and beautiful plants, the descriptions of them, so you'll want to go to White Flower and say, hey, what did they talk about on the Food Schmooze that day? I want that one.
Isn't Barbara Pierson incredible? So let me say the online address again. You know, obviously, Food Schmooze, but if you want to go to ctpublic.org, you'll see it all there. Now, if you're not someone who's interested in doing a garden thing and you'd rather there was a book you heard about or a mug or a shirt or, whatever, a tractor, you could go to ctpublic.org and pick out whatever you like. Keep it for yourself, pass it on as a gift to someone else. And you know, and they know, you supported public radio to keep this programming on the air. That's why we're here. Thank you so much if you've already done this. We can't thank you enough for keeping us on the air. 1-800-584-2788.
Faith, you just mentioned mugs, and I saw the other day a very, very fun one. If you are a Mr. Rogers fan, he is more popular than ever right now. And there was the cutest Mr. Rogers mug. And I think, maybe if you're listening to the Food Schmooze, you're having your coffee at 3 o'clock on a Thursday, and that might be the mug for you. It does have a special feature. It is a color-changing mug, so when you pour your coffee or tea in, it is going to change color.
It's a rainbow world.
Yes, that's right.
In your neighborhood. Okay. Hey, thanks so much for a contribution you've made or intend to make. I hope you'll do it right now. 1-800-584-2788. And as this show ends and you go on to the next one, you can still take advantage of everything you have heard during this hour. I'm excited about that. We're on Connecticut Public Radio Thursdays at 3, Saturdays at noon. Weekdays, listen for my 60-second food schmoozes and never eat more than you can lift. In New Haven, I'm Faith Middleton.